What if Vader never truly existed? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. Anakin Skywalker is dead. He died on Mustafar, burned alive, his body left to rot on the volcanic shore. But across the galaxy, Darth Vader hunts Jedi. He crushes rebellions. He strikes fear into entire star systems. How can Vader exist when Anakin is gone? The answer is simple and terrifying. He doesn't. Vader is a lie, a mask worn by many men, a ghost given form by an emperor who refused to let his perfect weapon die. This is the story of how the galaxy's greatest monster was never real at all. On Mustafar, flames rage across the blackened shore. Emperor Palpatine kneels beside Anakin's broken body. The man who was supposed to rule the galaxy at his side is charred beyond recognition, his limbs gone, his breathing shallow and fading. Palpatine pours dark side energy into him, demanding that life remain. But even the full might of the Sith cannot undo what the lava has wrought. Anakin's eyes flutter open one last time. "Master, I failed you. No, my apprentice, you will rise again." But the promise rings hollow. Anakin's chest stills. His presence in the Force fades to nothing. He is gone. Palpatine stares at the corpse. His greatest weapon is dead. The man who was supposed to enforce his will across the galaxy is gone. But the Empire needs Vader. The galaxy must fear Vader. Without that symbol, everything will crumble. Palpatine's mind races. Then he smiles. A cold, twisted smile. If I cannot have the man, I will create the legend. He signals his shuttle. Medical droids retrieve Anakin's body, sealing it in a vault where no one will ever find it. The galaxy will believe Anakin died during Order 66. But Vader will live forever. Back on Coruscant, Palpatine summons his most loyal scientists. He shows them designs for a suit of black armor, a mask that conceals all humanity, a voice that strikes terror into hearts. But one scientist asks the obvious question, "My lord, who will wear this suit?" Palpatine's smile is ice. "That is not your concern. Build it." While the suit is constructed, Palpatine's agents scour the galaxy. They find him on Dathomir, Taron Malicos, a fallen Jedi consumed by anger and despair. They drag him to Coruscant in chains. Palpatine shows him the empty armor. "You will become my weapon, my Vader." Malicos spits at him. "I will never serve you." Palpatine's smile never wavers. "You will." The transformation is agony. Malicos is strapped to a table as droids cut away his humanity. His vocal cords are altered, his lungs replaced with machines, his body scarred to match someone who survived fire. But the physical pain is nothing compared to what comes next. Palpatine pours dark side energy into his mind. Malicos screams as his memories shatter. His identity breaks apart. He tries to remember his name. All he hears is Vader. He tries to remember his past. All he sees is darkness. Days pass, weeks, time means nothing. When it ends, Taron Malicos is gone. The figure that rises from the table is something else. He stands slowly, encased in black armor. His breathing is loud, mechanical, terrifying. He looks at his gloved hands and feels the weight of the suit, both prison and power. Palpatine circles him like a predator. "Lord Vader, you have your first assignment. Hunt the Jedi. Show no mercy." The voice that responds is perfect, inhuman. "Yes, my master." The legend begins. Vader's first hunt takes him to the lower levels of Coruscant. Young Jedi are hiding in the industrial district. They sense him coming and try to flee. There is no escape. He corners them in an abandoned foundry. His lightsaber ignites with a crimson hiss. The battle is swift and brutal. One by one, they fall. Vader stands among the bodies, his breathing steady. He feels nothing. No remorse, no satisfaction, only certainty that he completed his task. Over the following months, Vader becomes the face of Imperial terror. He leads purges, hunts rebels, enforces the Emperor's will without mercy. His name spreads across the galaxy, whispered in fear. The legend grows stronger with each kill. Far from the Empire's heart, Obi-Wan Kenobi sits outside his hut on Tatooine. Baby Luke sleeps in his arms. The old Jedi's mind is heavy with guilt. He killed Anakin, left him to burn on Mustafar. The memory haunts him every night. But as weeks turn to months, something strange reaches even this remote world. Reports of a new Imperial enforcer called Vader. Black armor, mechanical breathing, a crimson lightsaber. At first, Obi-Wan thinks it's just a title. But the descriptions trouble him. Too specific, too designed. He closes his eyes and reaches out through the Force, searching for Anakin's presence. He finds something. A shadow. A void shaped like a man. It radiates darkness and pain, just as Anakin did. But something is wrong. It feels hollow, like an echo rather than the real thing. It's as if he's there and not there. A shadow without substance. Could Anakin have survived? Could Palpatine have saved him? But the presence doesn't feel like Anakin. It lacks that fierce, passionate energy. Instead, it feels cold, mechanical, empty. Obi-Wan pushes the thoughts aside. Perhaps it's just his guilt. Or perhaps the dark side twisted Anakin beyond recognition. Either way, he cannot risk investigating. Not while Luke needs him. He looks down at the sleeping child and makes a silent vow. Whatever Vader is, he will keep Luke safe. No matter the cost. Years pass. The first Vader, the man who was once Taron Malicos, serves the Empire with unwavering loyalty. He leads campaigns across the Outer Rim, crushing resistance movements, hunting down the last of the Jedi. He believes, with absolute certainty, that he is the chosen one, the Emperor's true enforcer, destined to bring order to the galaxy. The conditioning is so complete that he cannot imagine any other existence. But the strain of the suit, the constant pain, and the relentless missions begin to take their toll. The life support systems keep him alive, but they cannot eliminate the agony. Every breath is a struggle. Every movement sends jolts of pain through his augmented body. And the missions grow darker, more brutal, until Malicos begins to feel cracks in his certainty. On Kashyyyk, during a brutal campaign to subjugate the Wookiees, Vader leads an assault on a village suspected of harboring rebel sympathizers. The village is small, nestled in the Rosha trees, home to families and children. Vader's orders are clear. Execute everyone. Leave no survivors. As he marches through the burning streets, his stormtroopers rounding up the villagers, something inside him hesitates. He sees a Wookiee child clutching a wooden toy, its eyes wide with terror. For a moment, a flicker of Taron Malicos surfaces. He remembers being a Jedi, sworn to protect the innocent. But the conditioning crushes the thought, and he raises his lightsaber. The child's mother lunges at him with a crude spear, and Vader cuts her down without hesitation. The conditioning demands it. The Emperor demands it. And so, he obeys. But that night, alone in his quarters aboard the Star Destroyer, Vader removes his helmet in secret. His scarred face stares back at him from the polished wall, and he sees the emptiness in his eyes. What have I become? The question echoes in his mind, forbidden and dangerous. He should report these thoughts, allow himself to be reconditioned. But he does not. Instead, he replaces the helmet and returns to his duties, burying the doubt beneath layers of obedience. Days later, the campaign reaches its climax. The Wookiees, desperate and outnumbered, make a final stand at the center of their largest settlement. The chieftain, a towering warrior named Tarful, stands at the heart of the burning village, his bowcaster discarded, a massive vibroblade in his hands. Around them, the battle rages as stormtroopers clash with Wookiee defenders, the air filled with blaster fire and the roars of the dying. But Tarful and Vader focus only on each other. Vader ignites his lightsaber, the crimson blade casting shadows across the battlefield. His breathing is loud and steady, a mechanical rhythm that echoes his thoughts. Tarful roars, a sound that shakes the trees and charges. The clash is ferocious. Tarful swings his vibroblade with immense strength, each blow powerful enough to shatter bone. Vader parries and counters, his lightsaber cutting through the air in precise arcs. The Wookiee is relentless, pressing forward with a fury born of desperation and loss. He swings high, then low, then sweeps the blade horizontally, forcing Vader to leap back. Vader retaliates with a series of quick thrusts, aiming for Tarful's chest, his legs, his arms. But Tarful is faster than he looks, and more cunning. He deflects the lightsaber with the flat of his blade, then spins, bringing the weapon around in a devastating arc. Vader blocks it, but the impact sends him stumbling. Tarful roars again and presses the attack, his vibroblade a blur of motion. Vader defends, his lightsaber moving in tight, controlled patterns, but the Wookiee's strength is overwhelming. Each block sends vibrations through his arms. Each parry takes effort. And then Tarful feints. He swings high, drawing Vader's guard upward, then changes direction mid-strike and lunges forward with a brutal thrust. The vibroblade punches through Vader's armor, piercing his chest. Vader gasps, his breathing faltering, sparks flying from the damaged respirator. Pain floods his senses, white-hot and all-consuming. He stumbles back, clutching the wound, and Tarful presses the advantage, driving the blade deeper. For a moment, Vader feels the darkness receding, the conditioning slipping away. In that instant, a fragment of Taron Malicos resurfaces, confused and terrified. He sees flashes of his past, his training as a Jedi, the friends he lost during Order 66, the ideals he once held dear. What have I become? The question is agonizing, more painful than the wound in his chest. But the moment passes. Vader channels the pain, the fear, the regret into the dark side, and lashes out with the Force. Tarful is lifted off the ground and hurled backward, his massive body crashing into a tree with a sickening crunch. Vader staggers forward, his breathing ragged and wet, blood seeping through the cracks in his armor. He raises his lightsaber, the blade trembling in his hand, and advances on the fallen Wookiee. Tarful tries to rise, his body broken, but his spirit undefeated. He reaches for his vibroblade, his hand shaking, and manages to grip it. But Vader is faster. With the last of his strength, he strikes, and Tarful's roar is silenced forever. Vader stands over the body, his chest heaving, the wound in his chest pulsing with agony. Around him, the battle is ending. The Wookiees are defeated, their village in ruins. But Vader feels no triumph, only emptiness. He collapses to his knees, his vision blurring, and the world fades to black. Imperial medical teams rush to his side, their scanners detecting catastrophic damage to his internal systems. They work frantically, trying to stabilize him, but the wound is too severe. By the time they extract him from the battlefield and transport him to the medical bay, his heart has stopped. Taron Malicos is dead. Palpatine receives the news aboard his personal shuttle, en route to a diplomatic summit. He listens to the report with cold indifference, his expression unreadable. The first Vader has served his purpose. Now, it is time for the second. He issues orders immediately. The body is to be retrieved in secret, transported back to Coruscant under heavy guard and disposed of without a trace. The armor is to be repaired, the systems recalibrated, and preparations made for the next candidate. The galaxy must never know that Vader has died. Within hours, the operation is underway. Malicos's body is sealed in a containment pod and loaded onto a stealth transport. The ship departs Kashyyyk under cover of darkness. Its destination, the Imperial Palace on Coruscant. When it arrives, Palpatine personally oversees the disposal. He watches as the pod is lowered into a vault deep beneath the palace, a place where no one will ever find it. Then, he seals the vault and erases all records of its existence. Taron Malicos is gone, erased from history as if he never existed. Now, Palpatine begins the search for the second Vader. He reaches out through the dark side, scanning the galaxy for suitable candidates. He needs someone different this time, someone faster, more aggressive, someone who can compensate for Malicos's weaknesses. After weeks of searching, he finds her. Kira Vess, a former Sith assassin trained by one of his agents in the Outer Rim. She is in her late 20s, a master of Form 7, a lightsaber style that emphasizes speed and ferocity. She has killed dozens of targets, from corrupt officials to rebel leaders, and she does so without hesitation or remorse. She is perfect. Palpatine's agents locate her on Nal Hutta, where she is completing a contract for the Hutts. They ambush her in a cantina, using stun grenades and restraints to subdue her. She fights viciously, killing 2 agents before they manage to bring her down. When she wakes, she is in chains aboard a transport bound for Coruscant. Palpatine meets her in the same chamber, where Malicos was transformed. Kira Vess glares at him, her eyes filled with defiance. "You made a mistake, old man. I'll kill you the moment I get the chance." Palpatine smiles. "You will serve me, Kira Vess. You will become my weapon, my enforcer, my Vader." She spits at his feet. "I serve no one. We shall see." The conditioning process is brutal. Kira fights it every step of the way, resisting the Sith alchemy, clinging to her identity with fierce determination. But Palpatine is relentless. He pours dark side energy into her mind, breaking down her will, reshaping her thoughts. The physical transformation is even more severe than Malicos's. Her legs are amputated and replaced with cybernetic limbs, giving her enhanced speed and agility. Her arms are augmented with strength enhancers. Her vocal cords are altered to match the modulator. The process takes weeks, and Kira screams through every moment of it. But eventually, she breaks. When she emerges from the chamber, she is no longer Kira Vess. She is Vader. This Vader is different, faster, more aggressive. She moves like a predator, her strikes lightning quick, her fighting style unpredictable. Palpatine deploys her to the mid-rim, where a rebel cell has been causing significant disruptions. The rebels are expecting an Imperial assault, but they are not expecting Vader. She infiltrates their base alone, moving through the shadows, her lightsaber silent until the moment she strikes. The rebels die before they realize what is happening. When the Imperial forces arrive, they find the base littered with bodies, every rebel executed with surgical precision. Vader stands at the center of the carnage, her breathing steady, her armor stained with blood. The legend of Vader grows stronger. But Kira Vess lasts only 2 years. On Ord Mantell, during a mission to eliminate a rebel general, she is caught in an explosion. A rebel saboteur detonates a series of thermal charges in the building where she is operating, and the entire structure collapses. Vader is buried beneath tons of rubble, her suit crushed, her body broken. By the time Imperial rescue teams dig her out, she is dead. Palpatine does not mourn. he simply selects the third candidate. The third Vader is Jax Theron, a former Jedi Knight who was captured during the early days of the Purge. He has been held in a secret prison for years, subjected to torture and dark side conditioning, in the hope that he might be turned. When Palpatine reviews his file, he sees potential. Jax is strong in the Force, skilled in combat, and already broken by years of captivity. The transformation is swift. Within weeks, Jax Theron becomes Vader, and he serves the Empire with cold efficiency. But the years of torture have left scars that the conditioning cannot erase. Jax begins to hear voices, whispers in the darkness that speak to him when he is alone. At first, he dismisses them as echoes of his past, remnants of the Jedi he used to be. But the voices grow louder, more insistent, until he can no longer ignore them. They tell him that he is not real, that he is a puppet, a shadow of something greater. He begins to see things that are not there, figures in the corners of his vision, ghosts that vanish when he turns to face them. His behavior becomes erratic. On a mission to hunt a Jedi survivor on Dantooine, he executes not only the target, but also a dozen civilians who were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. His troops report that he seemed to be talking to himself, arguing with invisible enemies. On another mission, he stands motionless for hours, staring at nothing, until his officers are forced to physically shake him out of his trance. Palpatine realizes that Jax is deteriorating, becoming a liability. He summons him to the Imperial Palace, ostensibly for a debriefing, but the true purpose is execution. When Jax arrives, he senses the danger immediately. The voices scream at him, warning him to flee, but he is too far gone to listen. He kneels before the Emperor, his breathing labored, and waits for the end. Palpatine does not waste words. He raises his hand and unleashes a torrent of Force lightning, the blue arcs of energy engulfing Jax's body. Jax screams, convulsing as the electricity courses through him, but he does not fight back. Perhaps, in that final moment, he welcomes the release. When the lightning stops, Jax's body is smoking and lifeless. Palpatine orders it disposed of, and the fourth candidate is already being prepared. The fourth, Vader, is Dravik Kos, a Force-sensitive mercenary with a reputation for ruthlessness. He is older than the previous candidates, in his 40s, with decades of combat experience. Palpatine believes that his maturity and discipline will make him a more stable operative. The conditioning process proceeds smoothly, and Dravik becomes Vader without resistance. He serves for nearly a year, leading successful campaigns, executing high-value targets, and maintaining the legend. But Dravik is also more intelligent than his predecessors and more observant. During routine maintenance on his suit, he notices something unusual: a data pad hidden in a compartment behind the chest plate, accessible only when the armor is removed. Curious, he accesses it in secret and finds a log, a series of entries written by the previous Vader. The entries are fragmentary, disjointed, the writings of a man descending into madness, but they reveal the truth. I am not the first. There were others before me. I found their names in the medical records: Malicos, Kira. How many more? How many have worn this mask? How many have died? Dravik stares at the datapad, his mind reeling. He accesses the suit's internal systems, digging deeper, and finds more evidence. Logs of repairs that reference different biometric signatures, medical records for multiple operatives, death certificates, all classified, all bearing the designation Vader. The realization hits him like a physical blow. He is not special. He is not the chosen one. He is just another body, another tool to be used and discarded. The horror of it is overwhelming. For a moment, he considers confronting the Emperor, demanding an explanation. But he knows what the result would be: execution. So instead, he makes a desperate decision. He will escape. He will remove the suit, reclaim his identity, and disappear into the galaxy where the Empire cannot find him. One night, while his ship is docked on Coruscant for resupply, Dravik makes his move. He waits until the crew is asleep, then retreats to his private quarters. With trembling hands, he begins to remove the suit. The process is agonizing, as the armor is fused to his body in places, but he pushes through the pain. When the helmet comes off, he takes his first unfiltered breath in months. The air is cold and sharp, and it fills him with a sense of freedom he had forgotten. He looks at his reflection in the viewport and sees a stranger. His face is scarred, his hair shorn, his eyes hollow. But he is Dravik Kos again, not Vader. He gathers what supplies he can carry and slips out of the ship, making his way into the lower levels of Coruscant. But the Empire's surveillance is everywhere. Within hours, alarms are triggered. Inquisitors are dispatched, led by the Grand Inquisitor himself, to hunt down the escaped operative. Dravik moves through the industrial district, using his knowledge of the Force to evade patrols. But the Inquisitors are relentless. They track him to an abandoned warehouse in the sublevels, a maze of rusted machinery and broken crates. Dravik knows he is trapped, but he refuses to surrender. He ignites a stolen lightsaber, a blue blade he took from a fallen Jedi, and prepares to make his final stand. The Inquisitors enter the warehouse, their red blades casting eerie shadows. The Grand Inquisitor steps forward, his expression cold and unreadable. "You cannot escape, Dravik Kos. Surrender, and your death will be swift." "I won't go back. I won't be his puppet anymore." "Then you will die here." The Inquisitors attack as one, their lightsabers flashing in the darkness. Dravik fights desperately, using the Force to hurl debris, to create barriers, to anything to slow them down. He is skilled, but they are many, and his body is weakened from the removal of the suit. One Inquisitor's blade cuts across his arm, severing tendons. Another strikes his leg, dropping him to one knee. Dravik lashes out with the Force, throwing two of them back. But the Grand Inquisitor advances, his double-bladed saber spinning in a lethal arc. The blade cuts through Dravik's defenses and pierces his chest. Dravik gasps, his eyes wide with shock and pain. He collapses to the ground, blood pooling beneath him. As his vision fades, he whispers, "I just wanted to be free." The Grand Inquisitor stands over him, his expression unreadable, and delivers the final blow. Dravik Kos dies in the shadows of Coruscant, another nameless body in the Empire's machine. His body is retrieved and disposed of, and the fifth candidate is already being prepared. Each time a Vader dies, Palpatine refines the process. The conditioning becomes more sophisticated, the suits more advanced, the selection criteria more stringent. And each time, the legend of Vader grows stronger. The galaxy sees the mask, hears the voice, feels the terror, and believes. Vader is immortal. Vader is unstoppable. Vader is everywhere. But the cracks are beginning to show. But not everyone is blind to the inconsistencies. The Grand Inquisitor, a former Jedi Temple guard who turned to the dark side after witnessing the corruption of the Republic, has served Vader directly on multiple occasions. His name, before he took the title, was Proset Dibbs, a guardian who believed the Jedi had lost their way. When the Empire rose, he saw it as an opportunity for order, for structure, for the discipline the galaxy desperately needed. He became the Emperor's enforcer, leading the Inquisitorius, hunting down surviving Jedi with ruthless efficiency. He is one of the few who has worked closely enough with Vader to notice the small discrepancies. At first, he dismisses them as irrelevant. Vader is the Emperor's weapon, and it is not his place to question. The Empire demands obedience, and he has sworn to serve. But the anomalies pile up, incident after incident, until they become impossible to ignore. The first inconsistency occurs on Onderon, during a mission to eliminate a Jedi who has been organizing resistance cells. The Grand Inquisitor accompanies Vader, observing his methods, ensuring the mission proceeds according to plan. When they corner the Jedi in an abandoned fortress, Vader engages him in single combat. The Grand Inquisitor watches carefully, analyzing Vader's technique. He favors Form 5, Gem-So, brutal and aggressive, overwhelming his opponent with raw power. Each strike is designed to break through defenses, to crush resistance with sheer force. The Jedi falls within minutes, unable to withstand the relentless assault. The Grand Inquisitor notes the style, filing it away in his mind. Weeks later, they are deployed to Felucia, hunting another Jedi survivor. This time, when the battle begins, Vader's style has completely changed. He employs Form 2, Makashi, elegant and precise, a duelist's form that relies on economy of motion and perfect control. His footwork is measured, his strikes calculated, each movement flowing seamlessly into the next. The Grand Inquisitor's eyes narrow. He knows these forms intimately. He taught them to temple guards, drilled them into Padawans, studied them for decades. No one switches between them so drastically, especially not between Form 5 and Form 2, which are fundamentally opposed in philosophy. Form 5 is about power and aggression. Form 2 is about finesse and control. A warrior might master both over a lifetime, but they do not alternate between them from mission to mission. It would be like rewriting one's entire combat instinct. The Grand Inquisitor says nothing, but he begins to watch more carefully. On the next mission, Vader uses Form 5 again. On the one after that, Form 3, Soresu, a purely defensive style. The inconsistency is glaring, impossible to miss once he starts paying attention. Then there is the matter of Vader's knowledge, or lack thereof. During a briefing for a mission to Jabiim, Vader recounts the planet's history in meticulous detail. He speaks of the battles fought there during the Clone Wars, the betrayal of the local population, the Jedi who fell defending the Republic. He even mentions specific commanders, specific battles, details that only someone who fought there would know. The Grand Inquisitor is impressed. But 2 months later, during a hunt for a Jedi survivor on Christophsis, Vader seems to have no memory of the planet, despite the fact that major battles were fought there during the Clone Wars. The Grand Inquisitor mentions it casually. Testing. Christophsis was a significant engagement, was it not? The Republic fought fiercely to hold it. Vader's response is vague, dismissive. I do not concern myself with the past. Only the present mission matters. But the Grand Inquisitor knows the truth. Someone who fought in the Clone Wars would remember Christophsis. It was one of the key battles, a turning point in the Outer Rim campaigns. Vader's ignorance is suspicious. The anomalies continue to mount. On Ryloth, Vader forgets the name of a Jedi he supposedly killed 3 years ago, a High Council member whose death was widely reported. On Lothal, he refers to a Padawan by the wrong name, then quickly corrects himself. On Geonosis, he seems unfamiliar with the layout of the droid factories, despite the fact that Vader was reportedly present during the first battle there. Each inconsistency is small, easily dismissed on its own, but together they form a pattern. The Grand Inquisitor begins to pay closer attention to Vader's behavior, his mannerisms, the way he interacts with subordinates. On some missions, Vader is cold and calculating, speaking only when necessary, issuing orders with machine-like precision. On others, he is more aggressive, almost reckless, throwing himself into battle with a fury that borders on suicidal. On still others, he is introspective, pausing to meditate before missions, speaking in philosophical terms about the nature of power and order. These are not the fluctuations of mood. These are entirely different personalities. The Grand Inquisitor realizes something chilling. Vader is inconsistent because he is not one person. The thought is so staggering that he initially dismisses it as paranoia. But once the idea takes root, he cannot shake it. He begins to test Vader subtly, asking questions, probing for information. During a mission debrief, he mentions a detail from a previous operation, one that Vader should remember. Vader's response is hesitant, as if he is searching his memory for something that is not there. Another time, the Grand Inquisitor asks about Vader's training, where he learned to wield the Force with such power. Vader's answer is vague, rehearsed, the kind of response someone gives when they are reciting information rather than recalling personal experience. The Grand Inquisitor decides to investigate further. It is dangerous, potentially lethal, but he needs to know the truth. He begins accessing classified files, using his rank and clearance to dig into Vader's records. At first, he finds nothing unusual. Mission reports, commendations, records of victories. But then, he notices something strange. The medical logs are too extensive. Vader has been injured dozens of times, requiring major repairs to the suit, organ replacements, cybernetic upgrades. The frequency is unusual, but not impossible. What is impossible is the nature of the injuries. On 3 separate occasions, the logs indicate that Vader's heart stopped, and he was clinically dead for several minutes before being revived. On another, he suffered catastrophic brain damage that should have resulted in permanent cognitive impairment. Yet each time, he returned to duty within weeks, functioning at full capacity. The Grand Inquisitor's suspicions deepen. He digs further, accessing files that require higher clearance, files that he should not be able to see. He uses a slicing program, a relic from his days as a temple guard, when he investigated corruption among the Senate. The program cracks through the encryption, and he finds what he is looking for. Death certificates, not 1, not 2, but 5. Each one classified at the highest level, each one bearing the codename Vader. The names listed are different: Taron Malicos, Kira Ves, Jax Theron, Dravik Kos, and one more, a name he does not recognize. Each certificate lists a different cause of death. Malicos died from a punctured lung on Kashyyyk. Kira Ves was killed in an explosion on Ord Mantell. Jax Theron was executed for mental instability. Dravik Kos was killed by Inquisitors while attempting to escape. The 5th died of heart failure during a mission to Mustafar. The Grand Inquisitor stares at the screen, his mind reeling. Vader has died multiple times, and yet he continues to serve the Empire. The only explanation is that Vader is not one person. He is many. A rotating cast of operatives, each one conditioned and molded into the same persona, each one expendable. The Grand Inquisitor sits back in his chair, the weight of the revelation pressing down on him. This is not just a secret. This is the foundation of the Empire's power. The fear of Vader is what keeps entire star systems in line. If the truth were revealed, if the galaxy learned that Vader is a fabrication, the Empire would be crippled. But the Grand Inquisitor also realizes something else. If he reveals this information, he will be killed. Palpatine does not tolerate loose ends, and the Grand Inquisitor knows too much. He considers his options carefully. He could confront the Emperor, demand an explanation, but that would be suicide. He could leak the information to the rebellion, but that would also result in his death. Or he could do nothing. Bury the knowledge, continue to serve, and wait for the right moment. He decides on the latter. He encrypts the files, hiding them behind layers of security protocols, and stores them in a secure data vault accessible only to him. He deletes all traces of his investigation, covering his tracks meticulously. Then he returns to his duties, continuing to serve the Empire as if nothing has changed. But his eyes are open now. He watches Vader more closely, cataloging every inconsistency, every anomaly. He observes the way Vader interacts with the Emperor, the way Palpatine speaks to him, always with a certain detachment, as if Vader is a tool rather than a person. He listens to the conversations between Imperial officers, the way they speak of Vader with fear and awe, never questioning, never doubting. Months pass. The Grand Inquisitor continues to hunt Jedi alongside Vader, maintaining the facade of loyalty. But inside, he is calculating, planning, waiting for the moment when the truth will be useful. He begins to wonder what would happen if the rebellion learned the truth. Would they be able to use it? Would they even believe it? And more importantly, would revealing the truth serve his own interests? The Grand Inquisitor has always been a pragmatist. He joined the Empire not out of loyalty to Palpatine, but because he believed it represented order. But if the Empire is built on a lie, if its greatest weapon is a fabrication, then perhaps the order it represents is equally false. He buries these thoughts deep, focusing on his missions, but the doubt lingers. For now, he continues to serve, he continues to watch, and he waits for the galaxy to change. The rebellion grows slowly, carefully, in the shadows of the Empire's dominance. On Yavin 4, in a hidden base carved into the ancient temples of the Jungle Moon, leaders gather to plan their resistance. Bail Organa, senator from Alderaan and one of the rebellion's founding members, stands before a holographic display showing Imperial troop movements. Beside him, Mon Mothma, former senator of Chandrila, studies the data with a grim expression. The reports are troubling, painting a picture of an empire that grows stronger with each passing day. Vader's name appears again and again in the intelligence briefings, linked to massacres, assassinations, and planetary subjugations. He has personally led the destruction of rebel cells on a dozen worlds, each operation executed with brutal precision. He has hunted down and killed some of their best operatives, leaving no trace, no survivors. He is everywhere, an omnipresent shadow that haunts their every move. How do we fight a monster that cannot die? Bail's voice is heavy with frustration, the weight of countless losses evident in his tone. Every time we plan an operation against him, he anticipates it. Every time we think we have him cornered, he escapes. It's as if he knows our every move before we make it. Mon Mothma shakes her head, her expression weary but determined. We fight him the same way we fight the Empire. With courage, with sacrifice, and with hope that one day he will fall. We cannot let fear paralyze us. If we do, we have already lost. But privately, both of them doubt. Vader has become more than just an enforcer. He is the face of the Empire's oppression, the living embodiment of their power. To defeat him would be a victory beyond measure, a blow that would inspire worlds to rise up, that would prove the Empire is not invincible. But no one has ever come close. The rebellion's early attempts to kill Vader are catastrophic failures, each one resulting in devastating losses. On Ryloth, a strike team of 20 operatives ambushes him during a supply raid. They have planned for weeks, studying his patterns, identifying his vulnerabilities. They hit him with everything they have: blasters, thermal detonators, rocket launchers. The ambush site erupts in a storm of fire and smoke. For a moment, they believe they have succeeded. But then, through the smoke, Vader emerges, his black armor scorched but intact. He deflects the blaster fire with his lightsaber, the crimson blade moving so fast it becomes a blur. He absorbs the explosions with the Force, creating a barrier that dissipates the energy harmlessly. And then he counterattacks. He moves through the strike team like a force of nature, his lightsaber cutting through armor and flesh with equal ease. The operatives try to retreat, but Vader pursues them relentlessly, hunting them down one by one. When the smoke clears, all 20 are dead. Their bodies are left in the street as a warning. On Lothal, a group of rebel operatives tries a different approach. They plant a bomb on Vader's ship, a sophisticated device designed to detonate when the engines activate. They watch from a distance as Vader boards the ship, their fingers on the detonator, ready to trigger it manually if necessary. But Vader senses the trap. He steps off the ship, his breathing loud and steady, and raises his hand. The bomb is pulled from its hiding place by the Force, floating in the air before him. He crushes it with a gesture, and the device crumples like paper. Then, he turns toward the operative's hiding place. They try to run, but Vader reaches out through the Force, and they are lifted off the ground, choking, gasping for air. He holds them there for a long moment, letting them feel the inevitability of their death. Then, he releases them, and they drop to the ground, lifeless. On Christophsis, the rebellion attempts an assassination using a sniper, a sharpshooter named Jyn Erso's mentor, Saw Gerrera. He positions himself on a rooftop overlooking an Imperial parade where Vader will be present. The shot is impossible, over a kilometer away, through wind and atmospheric interference. But Saw is one of the best, and he has modified his rifle with targeting systems stolen from Imperial armories. He waits, his breathing slow and controlled, his finger on the trigger. Vader appears, striding through the crowd, flanked by stormtroopers. Saw takes the shot. The bolt streaks through the air, perfectly aimed, moving faster than the eye can follow. But Vader senses it. He raises his hand, and the bolt stops in midair, hovering centimeters from his mask. The crowd gasps, and Vader turns his head slowly, looking directly at Saw's position. The bolt reverses direction, flying back toward the rooftop. Saw dives aside, but the explosion destroys his position, sending debris raining down on the street below. He escapes, barely, but the mission is a failure. On Geonosis, the rebellion tries a larger operation, deploying a full squadron of starfighters to strafe Vader's position during a ground assault. 12 X-wings and Y-wings dive from the sky, their cannons blazing, targeting the area where Vader is coordinating Imperial forces. The barrage is overwhelming, enough firepower to level a city block. But Vader does not flee. He stands in the center of the assault, his lightsaber ignited, and uses the Force to deflect the incoming fire. Blaster bolts are redirected back at the fighters, forcing them to break off. One Y-wing is hit, its engines exploding, and it spirals out of control, crashing into the desert. The other fighters regroup and make another pass. But Vader reaches out through the Force, and one of the X-wings begins to shake violently. The pilot struggles to maintain control, but the ship tears itself apart, the fuselage crumpling like foil. The remaining fighters retreat, their mission a failure, their losses severe. With each failed attempt, the legend of Vader grows stronger. The rebellion's operatives begin to speak of him in hushed tones, with a mixture of fear and awe. He is invincible, they whisper. He is death incarnate. No one can touch him. Some begin to doubt the rebellion's cause, questioning whether it is possible to defeat an enemy like Vader. Others become more determined, hardening their resolve, vowing to find a way. But the losses mount, and morale suffers. Bail and Mon Mothma realize that continuing to target Vader directly is unsustainable. They are losing too many good people, too many skilled operatives. They shift their strategy, focusing on disrupting Imperial supply lines, liberating occupied worlds, building alliances with neutral systems. But Vader remains a constant threat, a shadow that looms over every operation. And the fear of him, the knowledge that he could appear at any moment, paralyzes their efforts. On Dantooine, a rebel cell is preparing to receive a shipment of medical supplies when Vader arrives without warning. He slaughters the entire cell, 16 people, in a matter of minutes. The survivors, those who were off-site, find the bodies arranged in a circle, lightsaber burns marking each one. It is a message. There is no escape. On Onderon, Vader leads a crackdown against rebel sympathizers, executing them in the public square. The people are forced to watch, and those who protest are killed as well. The footage is broadcast across the Outer Rim, a reminder of the Empire's power. And through it all, Vader remains silent, emotionless, a machine of death in the service of the Emperor. On Tatooine, Luke Skywalker grows into a restless young man, working the moisture farm, but dreaming of something far beyond the endless dunes. He is 19 now, tall and strong, with his father's piercing blue eyes and his mother's gentle determination. His days are spent in monotonous routine, waking before dawn to check the vaporators, repairing the machinery that constantly breaks down in the harsh desert environment, harvesting the precious moisture that keeps the farm running. But his mind is always elsewhere, wandering to the stars that dot the night sky, wondering what lies beyond this desolate world. His uncle, Owen Lars, notices the restlessness and tries to keep Luke occupied with endless chores, hoping to ground him, to keep him safe. But Luke cannot shake the feeling that he is meant for something greater, something more than sand and heat and isolation. He spends his evenings on the roof of the homestead, staring at the twin suns as they set, watching the caravans of Jawas traverse the wastes, listening to the distant howls of sand people. He dreams of adventure, of heroism, of making a difference in a galaxy that seems so vast and indifferent. Obi-Wan watches him from a distance, seeing so much of Anakin in the boy. The impatience, the longing for purpose, the sense that he is destined for something beyond his current circumstances. But Obi-Wan also sees Padme in him, the compassion, the kindness, the refusal to give up on people. It is a delicate balance, and Obi-Wan knows that guiding Luke will require patience and wisdom. He lives in a small hut on the edge of the Jundland wastes, a solitary existence that allows him to keep watch over Luke without drawing attention. The locals know him as Ben Kenobi, a hermit who occasionally trades with the moisture farmers, who helps with repairs when asked, who keeps to himself and bothers no one. But in the quiet hours, Obi-Wan meditates, reaching out through the Force, monitoring the galaxy's shifting currents. And more, his thoughts turn to Vader. He has heard the reports, the stories of the Dark Lord who hunts Jedi with ruthless efficiency. At first, Obi-Wan assumed it was Anakin, somehow saved by Palpatine, twisted beyond recognition. The thought filled him with guilt and grief, the knowledge that his former apprentice had become the very thing they swore to destroy. But as the years pass, and as Obi-Wan listens more carefully to the Force, he begins to sense something wrong. Vader's presence is there, cold and oppressive, radiating darkness. But it does not feel like Anakin. It lacks that fierce, passionate energy that defined him, that burning intensity that could be both inspiring and terrifying. Instead, Vader feels hollow, as if someone carved out a space in the Force and called it a person. Obi-Wan tries to dismiss it as wishful thinking, his mind refusing to accept the truth of what happened on Mustafar. But the doubt persists, gnawing at him. He begins to meditate more deeply, reaching out across the vast distances, searching for Anakin's presence. He remembers how their bond felt, that connection forged through years of training and fighting side by side. But when he searches now, he finds nothing. No trace of Anakin, no echo of the man he once knew. Only that hollow void, that shadow shaped like a person. Luke often visits Obi-Wan's hut, drawn by a curiosity he cannot explain. There is something about the old hermit that fascinates him, a sense of wisdom and hidden strength. Obi-Wan tells him stories, carefully edited tales of the Clone Wars, of the Jedi Knights who served the Republic, of heroes and battles that shaped the galaxy. Luke listens eagerly, his imagination filling in the details, envisioning himself in those stories. One evening, as the twin suns set and the desert cools, Luke sits outside Obi-Wan's hut, his expression thoughtful. "Tell me about my father. What was he like?" Obi-Wan is silent for a long moment, the question one he has dreaded and anticipated. He chooses his words carefully, knowing that the truth is both too complex and too painful. "He was a good man, a great pilot, one of the best I've ever seen. He wanted to help people, to make the galaxy a better place. He cared deeply about justice, about protecting those who couldn't protect themselves." "Did he die in the war?" "Yes. He died fighting for what he believed in." Luke stares at the horizon, his voice quiet. "I wish I could have known him. I wish he could have taught me, shown me what it means to be a hero." Obi-Wan places a hand on the boy's shoulder, his expression filled with both pride and sorrow. "He would have been proud of you, Luke. You have his courage, his determination. But you also have a compassion that he sometimes struggled with, that makes you stronger than he ever was." Luke looks at him, sensing something deeper beneath the words, but not pressing further. "Thank you for telling me about him, for being here." Obi-Wan nods, and they sit together in silence, watching the stars emerge in the darkening sky. As the years pass and Luke grows older, Obi-Wan knows the time is approaching when he will have to reveal more. But he also knows that Luke is not ready, that the truth about Anakin, about what he became and what he did, would shatter the boy's idealized image of his father. So Obi-Wan waits, biding his time, preparing Luke in small ways. He teaches him to meditate, framing it as a technique for finding peace in the chaos of farm life. He shows him basic self-defense, explaining it as practical skills for surviving in the dangerous outer rim. And slowly, subtly, he begins to introduce Luke to the Force, though he never names it as such. "Feel the world around you, Luke, not just with your eyes, but with your instincts. Trust what you sense, even when it doesn't make logical sense." Luke practices, often without realizing it. He begins to sense when a piece of machinery is about to fail, when a sandstorm is approaching, when danger is near. He attributes it to experience, to intuition. But Obi-Wan sees the truth. The Force is strong with him, just as it was with Anakin. But Luke's connection is different, tempered by patience and compassion. Obi-Wan hopes that difference will be enough to save him from his father's fate. During these years, Obi-Wan also begins his investigation into the inconsistencies surrounding Vader. He reaches out to old contacts, Jedi who survived the Purge and went into hiding. The communications are dangerous, carefully encrypted, taking weeks to reach their destinations. He asks subtle questions, probing for information without revealing too much. Have you encountered Vader? What can you tell me about him? The responses are fragmentary, but they confirm his suspicions. One Jedi survivor, a Mirialan named Luminara Unduli, reports that Vader's fighting style seems inconsistent. Sometimes he favors aggressive, overwhelming attacks. Other times, he employs defensive techniques, waiting for his opponent to make a mistake. It is as if he is multiple people. Another survivor, a Nautolan named Kit Fisto's former Padawan, mentions that Vader seems to have forgotten details about the Clone Wars, battles he should remember if he truly is Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan pieces together these reports, cross-referencing them with his own observations, and a picture begins to emerge. Vader is not one person. He is many. A fabrication, a symbol maintained by the Empire through a succession of operatives. The revelation is staggering, and for a long time, Obi-Wan does not know what to do with it. If Vader is a lie, then Anakin truly died on Mustafar. The guilt Obi-Wan has carried, the knowledge that he left his brother to burn, becomes even heavier. But there is also a strange relief. Anakin did not become the monster. He did not spend years hunting Jedi, slaughtering innocents, serving the Emperor. He died, broken and lost, but he died as Anakin Skywalker, not as Vader. Obi-Wan sits in his hut, the weight of this knowledge pressing down on him. He considers revealing the truth to the rebellion, knowing it could change the course of the war. But he also knows it is dangerous. If the Empire discovers that he knows, they will come for him, and Luke will be exposed. So he waits, biding his time, preparing for the moment when the truth must be revealed. That moment comes when he receives a coded message from Leia Organa. She has been investigating Vader as well, and her findings align with his. She needs confirmation, and she needs allies. Obi-Wan knows the time has come. He must leave Tatooine, must join the rebellion, must help expose the lie that has held the galaxy in terror. But he cannot leave Luke unprotected. He makes a decision. When he goes to meet with the rebellion, he will bring Luke with him. It is time for the boy to learn the truth about his father, about the Force, about the role he is meant to play. On the eve of his departure, Obi-Wan stands outside his hut, looking toward the Lars homestead in the distance. He can sense Luke there, restless and dreaming, unaware of the destiny that awaits him. I hope I am making the right choice, Anakin. I hope I can guide him where I failed to guide you. The stars shine overhead, indifferent and eternal, and Obi-Wan prepares for the journey ahead. In the heart of the Imperial Palace, the current Vader kneels before Emperor Palpatine. This operative is different from the others. His name, or rather, his former name, was Kale Torsin. He was a Jedi Padawan, barely 14 when Order 66 was issued. He remembers that day with crystal clarity, the day his entire world shattered. He was training in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant when the clones turned. One moment, his master was guiding him through a lightsaber form. The next, blaster fire erupted from every direction. His master, a Twi'lek woman named Dara Shien, pushed him toward the emergency exits. Run, Kyle. Do not look back. Do not stop. She ignited her lightsaber and charged at the clones, buying him precious seconds. Kale ran. He fled through the temple corridors, past the bodies of Jedi he had trained with, past the younglings who were being executed without mercy. He made it to the lower levels, and escaped into the Coruscant Undercity, where the darkness swallowed him whole. For 3 years, Kale survived by scavenging and stealing, moving from planet to planet, always one step ahead of the Inquisitors. He learned to suppress his connection to the Force, to hide his presence, to blend into the crowds. He worked odd jobs, hauling cargo, repairing machinery, anything to stay alive. But he never forgot what he was: a Jedi. Or at least, he had been training to become one. He carried his lightsaber hidden in a compartment in his jacket, a green-bladed weapon his master had given him on his 13th birthday. He swore he would never use it unless absolutely necessary, because igniting it would draw attention, would mark him as a target. But on Nar Shaddaa, his luck ran out. He was working in a cantina, washing dishes in the back, when a group of Inquisitors entered. They were not looking for him specifically, just conducting a routine sweep, searching for Force-sensitive individuals. But one of them, a Pawan with glowing yellow eyes, paused near the kitchen entrance. He sensed something. Kale felt the Inquisitor's presence probing through the Force, searching, and he tried to suppress his connection even further. But it was too late. The Inquisitor's eyes locked onto the kitchen door. Search the back. There is someone here. Kale knew he had no choice. He grabbed his lightsaber and ran, bursting through the rear exit into the crowded streets. Behind him, the Inquisitors gave chase, their crimson blades igniting. Kale ignited his own blade and deflected their strikes, his training kicking in despite his fear. He leapt onto a speeder, force pushing the driver out, and took off into the traffic lanes. The Inquisitors followed, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, their speed and agility far greater than his. Kyle weaved through the traffic, narrowly avoiding collisions, but the Inquisitors were relentless. One of them leaped onto his speeder, lightsaber raised. Kyle rolled aside, letting the blade cut through the control console, and jumped off just before the speeder crashed into a building. He hit the ground hard, pain shooting through his body, and tried to run, but he was surrounded. Inquisitors closed in from every direction, their blades forming a cage of crimson light. Stormtroopers arrived moments later, their rifles trained on him. Kyle stood in the center of the circle, his lightsaber trembling in his hand. He could fight. He could try to break through, but he was outnumbered, outmatched, and exhausted. He deactivated his lightsaber and dropped it to the ground. "I surrender." They dragged him back to Coruscant in chains, his body bruised and beaten from the capture. He was thrown into a cell deep within the Imperial Palace, a cold, dark room with no windows and no light, save for the faint glow of the energy field sealing the entrance. He sat there for days, maybe weeks. He lost track of time. He was given just enough food and water to survive, but nothing more. He meditated, trying to find peace, trying to connect with the Force. But the dark side was everywhere in this place, pressing down on him, suffocating him. Then, one day, the door opened, and Emperor Palpatine entered. Kale had never seen the Emperor in person before, only in hollow images. But standing before him, the man radiated power, a dark, oppressive presence that made it hard to breathe. Palpatine smiled, a cold, predatory expression. "Kale Torsin, a Padawan of the Jedi Order. You have survived longer than most. That shows strength, resourcefulness, potential." Kyle glared at him, refusing to speak. Palpatine circled him slowly, studying him like a specimen. "You hate me. I can feel it. Good. Hatred is strength. Fear is strength. The Jedi taught you to suppress these emotions, to deny them. But I will teach you to embrace them. You have been chosen for a great honor." Cole spat at his feet. "I will never serve you." Palpatine's smile did not waver. You will. The conditioning process was worse than anything Kale had imagined. He was strapped to an operating table in a chamber lined with ancient Sith runes, the air thick with dark side energy. Medical droids worked on him, cutting, augmenting, altering. His legs were severed and replaced with cybernetic limbs. His lungs were removed and replaced with respirators. His vocal cords were altered, fitted with a modulator that transformed his voice into that deep, mechanical rasp. The physical pain was excruciating, but it was nothing compared to the mental torture. Palpatine stood over him, channeling Sith alchemy, pouring dark side energy into his mind. Kale felt his identity being stripped away, layer by layer. He tried to hold on to his memories, to his name, to his master's teachings. But the Emperor's power was overwhelming. Every time Kale tried to remember who he was, the dark side crushed the thought, replacing it with something else. Vader. You are Vader, Kale screamed, thrashing against the restraints. I am Kale Torsin. I am a Jedi. I will not forget. But the voice in his mind was relentless. You are Vader. You serve the Emperor. You are his weapon. Days passed, or perhaps weeks. Time lost all meaning. Kale's resistance weakened, his will crumbling under the relentless assault. He clung to fragments of his past, memories of his master, of the temple, of the friends he had lost. But even those began to fade, replaced by the conditioning. When he tried to remember his master's face, all he saw was darkness. When he tried to recall his own name, all he heard was Vader. Finally, the process was complete. Kale Torsin was gone, buried beneath layers of programming and conditioning. When he emerged from the chamber, he was Vader. He stood slowly, encased in black armor, his breathing loud and mechanical. He looked at his hands, now gloved in black, and felt the weight of the suit around him. It was both a prison and a source of power. Palpatine approached him, his smile triumphant. Lord Vader, you have your first assignment. There is a Jedi hiding on Ord Mantell, a former council member. Hunt him down. Show no mercy. Vader's response was immediate, automatic. Yes, my master. He boarded a shuttle and departed for Ord Mantell, his mind focused entirely on the mission. The Jedi he was hunting, a Zabrak named Kir Vantai, had been a respected member of the Council, a master of lightsaber combat. He was hiding in the ruins of an old mining facility, surrounded by traps and defenses. But Vader did not hesitate. He moved through the facility with cold efficiency, disabling traps, cutting through blast doors, following the Jedi's presence in the Force. When he finally found Kir Vantai, the old master was meditating, his lightsaber resting on his lap. He opened his eyes as Vader entered, his expression sad but resigned. So, the Emperor sends his new enforcer. I sense great pain in you, young one. You were once a Jedi, were you not? Vader did not respond. He ignited his crimson blade and advanced. Kir Vantai rose to his feet, his own blue blade snapping to life. If you will not listen, then I will grant you peace. They clashed in the center of the chamber, their lightsabers flashing in the dim light. Kir Vantai was a master, his movements graceful and precise. But Vader was relentless. He pressed forward with brutal strikes, overwhelming the old Jedi's defenses. Kir Vantai tried to reason with him, to reach the person beneath the mask. You do not have to serve him. You can still choose your own path. But Vader felt nothing. The conditioning suppressed any doubt, any hesitation. He drove his lightsaber through Kir Vantai's chest, and the Jedi fell without another word. Vader stood over the body, his breathing steady, and felt nothing. No remorse, No satisfaction, only the certainty that he had completed his task. Over the following months, Vader carried out mission after mission. He hunted Jedi survivors, crushed rebel cells, assassinated high-value targets. He became the face of the Empire's terror, his name whispered in fear across the galaxy. The conditioning held firm, and Kale Torsin remained buried, a ghost that could not surface. But then, cracks began to form. It started on Ryloth, during a mission to eliminate a rebel cell suspected of harboring a Jedi. Vader led a battalion of stormtroopers into a village, his orders clear. Execute everyone. Leave no survivors. The stormtroopers moved through the streets, rounding up the villagers, men, women, and children. Vader watched from the center of the village, his breathing steady, his mind focused. But then, he saw a child. A Twi'lek girl, no older than 10, clutching a wooden toy. She looked up at him with wide, terrified eyes, and for a moment, something inside Vader stirred. A memory, faint and distant, of a girl he used to know in the temple. A friend. Her name was... What was her name? The memory slipped away before he could grasp it, but the feeling remained. Doubt, hesitation. The girl's mother lunged at him with a crude spear, trying to protect her child. Vader's lightsaber moved on instinct, cutting her down. The conditioning demanded it. The Emperor demanded it. And so, he obeyed. But that night, alone in his quarters, Vader could not shake the image of the child's face. He tried to meditate, to focus on his duties, but the doubt lingered. Who was I before this? The question echoed in his mind, forbidden and dangerous. He should report these thoughts, allow himself to be reconditioned. But he did not. The missions continued. On Lothal, he led an assault on a rebel base, killing dozens of operatives. On Christophsis, he executed a group of smugglers who were supplying the rebellion. On Geonosis, he oversaw the destruction of a weapons factory. Each mission was completed with cold efficiency, but the cracks in his conditioning continued to grow. He began to have dreams, fragments of memories that he could not place. A woman with a kind smile, a temple filled with light, the sound of laughter. He would wake in his quarters, his breathing ragged, the images fading before he could grasp them. Then came the mission to Ryloth. The orders were the same as before. A village suspected of harboring rebels. Execute everyone. Vader led the assault, his stormtroopers fanning out through the streets. But this time, when he saw the villagers, men and women and children, huddled together in fear, something inside him broke. He raised his lightsaber, ready to strike, but his hand hesitated. The conditioning screamed at him to obey, but a small, fragile voice whispered, "This is wrong." The stormtroopers looked at him, waiting for the order. Vader stood frozen, his mind a battleground. Finally, he gave the order. Proceed. The stormtroopers opened fire, and the villagers died. But Vader did not participate. He stood in the center of the carnage, his lightsaber deactivated, and watched. When it was over, when the village was silent and the bodies lay in the streets, Vader felt something he had not felt in years. Guilt. He returned to his quarters, and for the first time since his conditioning, removed his helmet. He stared at his reflection in the polished surface of the wall. The face that looked back at him was scarred and gaunt, the skin pale from years inside the suit. He barely recognized himself. Who was I before this? The question was louder now, impossible to ignore. He sat at the terminal in his chamber and began to search. He accessed his suit's internal systems, digging through the files, looking for anything that might tell him who he was. At first, he found nothing unusual. maintenance logs, mission reports, medical records. But then, he went deeper, breaking through encryption, bypassing security protocols. And what he found shattered him. Medical records for multiple operatives, different names, different faces, different causes of death. Taran Malikos, Kira Vess, Jax Theron, Dravik Kos. Death certificates, all classified, all bearing the designation Vader. Photos of men and women in the suit, their faces scarred and broken, none of them him. He stared at the screen, his hands trembling. He was not the first. He was not special. He was just another body, another tool to be used and discarded. The horror of it was overwhelming. For a moment, he considered deleting the files, pretending he had never seen them. But he could not. The truth was undeniable. He was not Vader. Vader did not exist. He was Kale Torsen, a Jedi Padawan, captured and broken and remade into a weapon. But he was still alive. And somewhere, beneath the conditioning, he was still himself. Kale sat in his quarters, the weight of the revelation pressing down on him. For the first time in 3 years, he felt something other than obedience. He felt rage, and beneath the rage, a desperate, fragile hope. If Vader is a lie, then perhaps I can still escape. Perhaps I can still be more than a weapon. He deleted the files, covering his tracks, and replaced his helmet. But the knowledge remained, and it changed everything. On Yavin 4, Leia Organa strides into the command center, her expression focused and determined. She is 20 years old now, a leader in the rebellion, respected for her intelligence and her courage. In her hand, she carries a data pad filled with intercepted Imperial transmissions. She scans the room until she finds Mon Mothma and Bail Organa, her adoptive father, reviewing tactical reports. We need to talk, in private. They retreat to a secure room, and Leia activates a hologram. It shows data streams, medical logs, armor repair records, all related to Vader. I've been analyzing these for weeks. Something is wrong. The data doesn't match. There are too many inconsistencies. Mon Mothma studies the information, her brow furrowed. What are you suggesting? That Vader might not be who we think he is, that he might be multiple people. The words hang in the air, heavy with implication. Bail leans forward, his expression serious. If that's true, if the Empire has been deceiving us, we need confirmation, and we need to be careful. Exposing this could either embolden the rebellion or provoke a brutal crackdown. Leia nods. I have a contact, someone who might know the truth. She sends a coded message to Tatooine, encrypted with protocols only Obi-Wan Kenobi would recognize. It takes 2 days for the reply to arrive, but when it does, it is brief and direct. Meet me on Yavin 4. We need to talk. Obi-Wan arrives under cover of darkness, his ship landing in a secluded clearing far from the main base. He is older now, his beard streaked with gray, his face lined with years of guilt and isolation. But his eyes are still sharp, still filled with the wisdom and determination of a Jedi Master. Leia meets him at the landing pad, and for a moment, they simply stare at each other. She has seen his face in hollow images, but meeting him in person is different. There is a gravity to him, a weight of experience that commands respect. Master Kenobi, thank you for coming. Obi-Wan inclines his head. When I received your message, I knew it was time. The truth can no longer remain hidden. They walk together through the jungle, the sounds of nocturnal creatures filling the air until they reach the command center. Inside, Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, and a handful of other rebel leaders wait. And standing among them, looking uncertain but determined, is Luke Skywalker. Obi-Wan insisted that he come, that he be present for what is about to be revealed. Luke's eyes widen when he sees Obi-Wan. "Ben? What are you doing here?" "Learning the truth, Luke." "The same as you." They gather around a holographic display, and Obi-Wan begins to speak. His voice is calm, measured, but the weight of his words is staggering. Vader is not a man. He is a symbol, a fabrication created by the Emperor. Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father, died on Mustafar years ago. What the Empire calls Vader is a rotating series of operatives, each one conditioned to play the role, each one expendable. The room is silent. Luke's face goes pale, his hands clenched into fists. "You mean my father? He died a hero, and the Empire has been using his image?" Obi-Wan nods, his expression pained. The suit, the persona, it was all designed to be Anakin. But the man inside has never been him. Each operative has been broken, reshaped, and turned into a weapon. Some have lasted years, others only months, but the legend remains the same. Leia steps forward, her mind racing. If we can prove this, if we can show the galaxy that Vader is a lie, it will shatter the Empire's grip on fear. People will see that their greatest weapon is a fraud. Mon Mothma shakes her head. "That's too dangerous. If we try to expose this and fail, the backlash will be catastrophic. We need a plan. A way to capture the current Vader, unmask him, and broadcast the truth before the Empire can suppress it." Bail crosses his arms. "And how do we do that?" Vader is surrounded by security at all times. He travels with full military escorts. Getting close to him would be suicide. Luke speaks up, his voice firm. "Not if we set a trap. We lure him to a location of our choosing, on our terms, and we take him down." Obi-Wan looks at him, concern in his eyes. "Luke, you don't understand what you're suggesting. Vader is dangerous. Even if he's not Anakin, he's still a skilled warrior, trained in the dark side." "I don't care." Luke's voice is steady, resolute. "You've been protecting me my whole life. Let me do this. Let me honor my father's memory by ending the lie built on his name." Obi-Wan studies him for a long moment, then nods slowly. "Very well, but you will need training. If you're going to face Vader, you need to be ready." Over the following weeks, Obi-Wan trains Luke in the ways of the Force. They practice in the jungles of Yavin 4, away from the base, where the dense foliage provides cover and the sounds of nature mask their movements. Obi-Wan teaches him the forms of lightsaber combat, focusing on defense and patience. He shows him how to sense danger through the Force, how to anticipate an opponent's movements, how to remain calm in the face of overwhelming odds. Luke is a quick learner, his instincts sharp, his determination unshakable. But Obi-Wan can see the anger simmering beneath the surface, the rage at what the Empire has done to his father's memory. That anger worries him. "Control your emotions, Luke. The dark side feeds on anger, on hatred. If you let those feelings control you, you will become what you seek to destroy." "I understand." But Luke's jaw is tight, his fists clenched. While Luke trains, Leia and the Rebel Command work on the plan. They need a way to lure Vader to a location where they can control the environment, where they can isolate him from reinforcements. After days of debate, they settle on Bespin, Cloud City. It is a mining colony, technically neutral, with enough traffic that the rebellion can infiltrate without raising suspicion. More importantly, its administrator, Lando Calrissian, is a smuggler with rebel sympathies who can be convinced to help. Leia contacts Lando through secure channels, offering him a significant sum of credits and a promise that the rebellion will protect Cloud City from Imperial retaliation. Lando is hesitant at first, but eventually agrees. They leak false information through Imperial channels, carefully crafted to reach Vader's attention. A high-value rebel target, a former Jedi who survived the Purge, is hiding in Cloud City's Tibana gas refineries. The bait is irresistible. Vader will come, and when he does, they will be ready. Vader receives the intelligence report in his quarters, the datapad displaying the details of the target. A Jedi survivor hiding on Bespin. The information is specific enough to be credible, but vague enough to require personal investigation. He studies the report, his mind analyzing every detail. It could be a trap, but if it is genuine, eliminating this Jedi is a priority. He reports to the Emperor, requesting permission to deploy. Palpatine grants it without hesitation. Go, my apprentice. Ensure that this Jedi does not escape. Vader assembles a strike team, a squad of elite stormtroopers and 2 Inquisitors. They board an Imperial shuttle and set course for Bespin. As the ship travels through hyperspace, Kale sits alone in his chamber, the helmet resting on his lap. The doubts have grown stronger in recent weeks, the cracks in his conditioning widening. He knows he is walking into danger, but part of him wonders if that is what he wants. An end, one way or another. The shuttle arrives at Cloud City, docking in one of the lower platforms away from the main traffic. Lando Calrissian meets them personally, his smile charming, but his eyes wary. Lord Vader, welcome to Cloud City. I trust your journey was uneventful. Vader does not respond, merely strides past him toward the turbo lift. Lando exchanges a glance with his aide, then follows. The rebellion is already in position. Teams are stationed throughout the refinery levels, armed and ready. Leia oversees the operation from a command post, her voice calm and steady as she coordinates the various units. Luke waits in the carbon freezing chamber, his lightsaber concealed beneath his cloak, his breathing slow and controlled. He can feel Vader approaching, a dark presence in the Force, cold and oppressive. Obi-Wan is nearby, hidden but ready to intervene if necessary. When Vader enters the refinery, he senses the trap immediately. His instincts scream danger, and he stops in his tracks. The stormtroopers behind him tense, raising their weapons. But before they can react, the doors seal, locking them inside. Leia's voice echoes through the comms. We know what you are, Vader. Surrender, and you will live. Vader ignites his crimson blade, the hiss of the lightsaber filling the chamber. I serve the Emperor. I do not surrender. Luke steps from the shadows, his own blue blade snapping to life. Then we do this the hard way. They clash in the center of the chamber, red against blue, the hum of lightsabers reverberating off the metal walls. Outside, the rebellion's soldiers engage the stormtroopers, blaster fire lighting up the corridors. The Inquisitors move to assist Vader, but Obi-Wan intercepts them, his lightsaber a blur as he holds them at bay. The duel between Luke and Vader is fierce. Vader attacks with brutal efficiency, his strikes powerful and precise. He aims for Luke's head with a downward slash, but Luke sidesteps, letting the blade whistle past his ear. Vader follows with a horizontal sweep at chest height, and Luke ducks, feeling the heat of the crimson blade pass over him. Luke counters with a thrust toward Vader's midsection, but Vader bats it aside with contemptuous ease and riposts with a strike at Luke's legs. Luke leaps over the blade, flipping backward, and lands in a defensive stance. Around them, the battle rages. Blaster bolts ricochet off the metal walls, explosions shake the platform, and the sounds of combat fill the air. Outside the chamber, rebellion soldiers engage the stormtroopers, their blaster fire lighting up the corridors. The two Inquisitors move to assist Vader, but Obi-Wan intercepts them, his blue lightsaber a blur as he holds them at bay. One Inquisitor lunges at him with a double-bladed saber, the crimson arcs slashing from both sides. Obi-Wan parries one blade, ducks under the other, and counters with a precise strike that severs the Inquisitor's weapon in half. The second Inquisitor attacks from behind, but Obi-Wan senses him through the Force and spins, deflecting the strike and kicking the Inquisitor back. But Luke blocks it all out, focusing entirely on Vader. He can feel the dark side radiating from the man, cold and oppressive, but beneath it, something else. Fear, confusion, doubt. Vader presses forward, his strikes becoming more aggressive, more desperate. He brings his lightsaber down in a powerful overhead chop, and Luke blocks it, their blades locking. Vader's strength is immense, and Luke feels himself being pushed back, his arms straining against the pressure. But he holds firm, channeling the Force to augment his strength. For a moment, they are frozen, locked in a contest of wills. Then Luke twists his blade, disengaging, and slashes at Vader's side. Vader barely blocks it, the crimson and blue blades clashing with a shower of sparks. Vader counters with a series of rapid strikes, his lightsaber moving in tight, controlled patterns. Strike, parry, riposte. Each attack is designed to overwhelm Luke's defenses, to force him into a mistake. But Luke has been trained by Obi-Wan, and his defense is solid. He parries each strike, his blade always where it needs to be, his footwork precise. He gives ground slowly, luring Vader forward, waiting for an opening. Vader swings at Luke's shoulder, and Luke ducks, the blade passing overhead. He counters with a quick jab toward Vader's chest, and Vader sidesteps, letting the blade pass harmlessly by. The two circle each other, their breathing loud, their eyes locked. You fight well. Vader's voice is cold, mechanical. But you cannot defeat me. I am the Emperor's hand. Luke shakes his head. You're not his hand. You're his puppet. And I'm going to set you free. Vader roars and lunges forward, his lightsaber flashing in a series of brutal strikes. He attacks high, then low, then sweeps horizontally, forcing Luke to leap back. Luke lands near the edge of the platform and counters with a force push, sending a wave of energy toward Vader. Vader braces himself, absorbing the impact, and retaliates with his own force push. The two energies collide in midair, creating a shock wave that rattles the chamber. Luke feels the pressure, his boots sliding across the metal floor, but he holds firm. He channels the force through his body, grounding himself, and pushes back harder. The shock wave intensifies, and Vader staggers, his footing faltering. Luke seizes the moment. He rushes forward, his lightsaber a blur, and unleashes a flurry of strikes. High, low, left, right, each attack flowing seamlessly into the next. Vader defends desperately, his blade moving in tight arcs, but Luke's speed is overwhelming. One strike grazes Vader's shoulder, another cuts across his thigh. Sparks fly from the damaged armor, and Vader stumbles back, his breathing ragged. You do not have to do this. Luke's voice cuts through the clash of blades. You're not Vader. You're just wearing his mask. I am Vader. The voice is firm, but beneath it, a tremor. Who were you before they put you in that suit? Before they took your name? Vader's grip falters. For a moment, the conditioning cracks, and a fragment of Kale Torsin surfaces. He sees flashes of his past, his master, Dara Shian, guiding him through lightsaber forms. The temple filled with light and laughter. His friends, training beside him. The day Order 66 was issued, the day everything ended. The pain of it is overwhelming, and he staggers back, clutching his head. No, I am Vader. I serve the Emperor. Luke presses his advantage, driving Vader back toward the edge of the platform. Their blades lock again, and Luke stares into the black lenses of the helmet. You were a Jedi once. I can feel it. You fought for something. You believed in something. What was it? What did they take from you? Vader's breathing becomes erratic, the mechanical rhythm faltering. The conditioning screams at him to obey, to strike, to kill. But the fragment of Kale Torsin is stronger now, clawing its way to the surface. I was a Padawan. My name was. His voice cracks, the mechanical filter distorting. The conditioning reasserts itself, crushing the thought. No, I am Vader. I serve the Emperor. Luke shakes his head. The Emperor is using you. He's used dozens of others before you. You're not the first Vader, and you won't be the last. Unless you stop this. Unless you choose to be free. Vader's hand trembles. The crimson blade wavers. For a moment, he lowers his guard, and Luke sees his opportunity. He lunges forward and slashes at the helmet, his blade cutting through the voice modulator on the side. Sparks fly, and the deep mechanical breathing cuts out, replaced by ragged human gasps. Vader, no, Kyle, drops to one knee, clutching at the damaged helmet. The voice that emerges is young, raw, broken. Please, I don't want to die again. Luke freezes, his blade still raised. Around them, the battle is winding down. The stormtroopers have been subdued, their bodies littering the floor. The Inquisitors have been defeated by Obi-Wan, one unconscious, the other dead. The only sounds are the hum of lightsabers and Kale's labored breathing. Leia's voice comes through the comms, urgent and focused. Luke, the broadcast is ready. Do it now. We need to show the galaxy before the Empire can suppress it. Luke nods and deactivates his lightsaber. He steps forward slowly, his movements deliberate, non-threatening. Kyle looks up at him, his hands still clutching the helmet. I'm sorry for everything I did, for everyone I killed. I didn't want to. I tried to resist, but he made me. Luke kneels beside him, his expression filled with compassion. You were a prisoner. Now you're free. But first, we need to show the galaxy the truth. Kale nods weakly, his body trembling. Luke reaches for the helmet and begins to remove it. The seals hiss as they release, and the helmet lifts away. Across the galaxy, on every Rebel and Imperial channel, the broadcast begins. Leia has hijacked the signal, overriding every holonet frequency, ensuring that every screen shows the same image. Luke Skywalker standing over Vader in the carbon-freezing chamber of Cloud City, holding the black helmet in his hands. And beneath the mask is not Anakin Skywalker, not the monster the galaxy fears, but a young man. His face is scarred, the skin pale and stretched tight over his skull. His eyes are sunken, filled with pain and exhaustion. Tears stream down his cheeks as he looks into the camera. My name is Kyle Torsin. I was a Jedi Padawan once. I trained in the temple on Coruscant. My master's name was Dara Shien. She died protecting me during Order 66. His voice cracks, the emotion raw and unfiltered. I survived for 3 years, hiding, running, trying to stay alive. But they caught me. The Emperor, he took me. He tortured me. He broke me. He turned me into this. He gestures to the suit, his hands trembling. But I am not the first. There have been others before me. Taron Malicos, Kira Vess, Jax Theron, Dravik Kos. They all wore this mask. They all died. Vader is not one person. Vader is a lie. The Emperor created him to control you, to make you fear. But we are just people. Broken people, used and discarded. I don't want to be his weapon anymore. I don't want to die as Vader. I want to die as myself. Kyle Torsin. The broadcast continues for several minutes, Kyle recounting his missions, the atrocities he was forced to commit, the conditioning that stripped away his identity. He names every Vader he found in the files, every operative who died in the suit. He describes the vaults beneath the Imperial Palace where their bodies are stored, the secret facilities where new candidates are broken and remade. By the time the broadcast ends, the galaxy is in shock. On Coruscant, in the Senate chambers, politicians stare at the screens in stunned silence. Some weep, others argue, but none can deny what they have seen. On Imperial Star Destroyers, officers whisper to each other, their faith in the Empire shaken. Some begin to question their orders, to wonder if everything they have been told is a lie. On Rebel bases across the Outer Rim, soldiers cheer and embrace, their spirits lifted by the revelation. They have struck a blow against the Empire, not with blasters or starfighters, but with truth. On Tatooine, in a small cantina, a group of moisture farmers watch the broadcast in awe. One of them, an older man with weathered skin, shakes his head. All this time, we thought Vader was some kind of demon. Turns out he was just a man, a broken man. On Kashyyyk, the Wookiees roar in triumph, celebrating the fall of the tyrant who slaughtered their chieftain. On Ryloth, the Twi'leks gather in the streets, their voices raised in songs of freedom. The galaxy is changing, the fear that held it in chains beginning to crack. But on Coruscant, in the Imperial Palace, Emperor Palpatine watches the broadcast with a face twisted in rage. His yellow eyes blaze with fury, and the air around him crackles with dark side energy. He grips the armrests of his throne so tightly that the metal bends under his fingers. They dare to destroy what I have built. He rises to his feet, his robes billowing around him, and slams his fist against the armrest. The impact sends a shockwave through the room, shattering the holoprojectors. Officers stationed nearby cower, terrified of his wrath. Palpatine turns to them, his voice a venomous hiss. Mobilize the fleet. I want every rebel cell crushed. I want every world that harbors them burned to ash. I want the head of Luke Skywalker brought to me on a platter, and I want it now. The officers bow and rush to comply, their fear palpable. But Palpatine is not finished. He activates the holonet, overriding the rebellion's signal, and broadcasts his own message across the galaxy. His face fills every screen, his expression cold and terrible. You wish to see the truth? Very well. I am the Sith. I am the dark side made flesh. Vader was but a tool, a symbol to keep you in line, to make you obey. But I need no symbols. I need no masks. The Empire does not rest on the shoulders of one man in a suit. It rests on my will, and my will is absolute. He leans forward, his eyes boring into the camera. Vader was my creation, yes, a fabrication designed to inspire fear. But do you truly believe that exposing this lie weakens me? No. It only shows you the depths of my power. I can create legends. I can shape reality itself. And now, I will show you what happens to those who defy me. He raises his hand, and dark side energy crackles around his fingers. The rebellion believes they have won a victory, but they have only awakened the true monster. From this moment forward, there will be no mercy, no quarter, only death. The Empire will crush every spark of resistance, every whisper of defiance. And when the galaxy kneels before me, broken and obedient, you will understand. I am the Empire. The broadcast ends, and the galaxy is plunged into chaos. The revelation about Vader emboldens some worlds to rise up against the Empire, while others are paralyzed by fear of the Emperor's wrath. The rebellion sees a surge in recruitment as people realize that the Empire's terror was built on lies. But Palpatine's brutal crackdown is swift and merciless, and countless innocents die in the crossfire. On Bespin, Luke helps Kale out of the suit. The young man is weak, his body broken by years of torment. He can barely stand, and Luke has to support him as they make their way to the evacuation shuttles. "I'm sorry." Kale's voice is hoarse, barely above a whisper. "For everything I did as Vader, for everyone I killed. You were a prisoner." Luke's voice is firm, reassuring. "Now, you're free." Kyle shakes his head, tears streaming down his face. "I'll never be free, not from what I've done." "Then help us end this. Show the galaxy that even the Empire's weapons can be redeemed." Kale looks at him, hope flickering in his eyes for the first time in years. He nods slowly, and Luke helps him into the shuttle. Around them, the rebellion evacuates, pulling out before Imperial reinforcements arrive. Obi-Wan joins them, his expression relieved but somber. "You did well, Luke, but this is only the beginning. I know." Luke looks out at the stars as the shuttle lifts off, his jaw set with determination. Palpatine is still out there, and now he's more dangerous than ever. Obi-Wan places a hand on his shoulder. "Then we'll face him, together." The shuttle jumps to hyperspace, leaving Bespin behind. In the days that follow, Kale's testimony is broadcast across the holonet. He reveals the full extent of Palpatine's manipulation, naming other Vaders, describing the conditioning process, exposing the secret vaults where their bodies were stored, the secret facilities where new candidates are broken and remade. By the time the broadcast ends, the galaxy is in shock. The revelation sends shockwaves that reverberate for weeks. On worlds loyal to the Empire, the response is mixed and chaotic. In the Senate chambers on Coruscant, politicians argue for hours, their voices echoing through the Grand Hall. Some dismiss the broadcast as rebel propaganda, clinging desperately to the image of Vader as an unstoppable force. Senator Orn Free-Tar of Ryloth pounds his fist on the podium. This is a fabrication. The rebels are desperate, and they seek to undermine our faith in the Empire with lies. But Senator Bail Organa rises, his voice calm but firm. "If it is a lie, then let the Emperor produce Vader. Let him show us the man beneath the mask. But Palpatine will not do that, because there is no man, only a succession of broken souls." The chamber erupts in heated debate, and the Empire's propaganda machine works overtime to counter the revelation. But the cracks are forming, and no amount of spin can seal them completely. On Imperial Star Destroyers across the galaxy, officers whisper in darkened corridors, their conversations careful and guarded. Admiral Kendall Ozzel stands on the bridge of his Star Destroyer, watching the holonet broadcast for the third time. He remembers serving alongside Vader on multiple campaigns, and now, with the benefit of hindsight, he sees the inconsistencies, the changes in tactics, the shifts in personality, the moments that never quite made sense. He turns to his second-in-command, Captain Firmus Payet. "What do you make of this?" Payet hesitates, choosing his words carefully. "If it is true, sir, then the Empire has been deceiving us. And if they lied about Vader, what else have they lied about?" Ozil nods slowly, his expression troubled. "Keep this conversation between us, Captain, but monitor the crew. If others are beginning to doubt, we need to know." "Yes, sir." But Ozil can see the doubt in Piet's eyes, the same doubt he feels. The certainty that held the Empire together is crumbling. On Kashyyyk, the Wookiees gather in the forests, their voices raised in songs of mourning and celebration. They mourn those who died under Vader's campaigns, the villages burned, the families torn apart. But they also celebrate the truth revealed. the knowledge that the monster who killed their chieftain was not invincible. Tarful's son, a young Wookiee named Chewbacca, stands before the gathered tribes. My father died fighting Vader, the false god of the Empire. He struck a blow against tyranny, and his sacrifice was not in vain. Now we know the truth. Vader was a lie, and we will honor those who fell by continuing their fight. We will not bow to the Empire. We will not accept their rule. We are Wookiees, and we are free. The tribes roar in agreement, their voices shaking the trees. On Ryloth, the Twi'leks light fires in the streets, their songs echoing through the night. They remember the villages Vader destroyed, the children he killed, the terror he spread. And they vow never to forget. On Lothal, where Vader led some of his most brutal crackdowns, the people erect monuments to the fallen. They carve the names of those who died into stone, thousands upon thousands of names. And at the base of each monument, they inscribe a single phrase. Vader was a lie. We are free. On Alderaan, Princess Leia's adoptive mother, Queen Breha Organa, watches the broadcast with tears in her eyes. She knows the danger her daughter is in, the risks she is taking. But she also knows that Leia is fighting for something greater than herself. She is fighting for truth, for justice, for a galaxy free from tyranny. Breha sends a coded message to the rebellion, pledging Alderaan's full support. Food, medicine, ships, whatever they need. But the greatest impact is felt in the rebellion itself. On Yavin 4, the command center is flooded with incoming transmissions, recruitment requests, defections from Imperial forces, pledges of support from neutral worlds. Mon Mothma and Bail Organa work around the clock, coordinating the influx of resources, organizing new cells, planning operations. The rebellion, which had been struggling to survive, suddenly finds itself with more support than it can handle. Leia oversees the intelligence operations, reviewing reports from spies embedded across the galaxy. The Empire is in disarray. Officers are questioning their orders. Soldiers are deserting. Entire battalions are refusing to deploy. Palpatine's crackdown is brutal, but it is also revealing the fractures within his regime. Bail nods, his expression cautiously optimistic. We have momentum, but we must use it wisely. Palpatine will not remain passive. He will strike back with everything he has. Then we need to be ready. Leia's voice is firm. We need to consolidate our gains, fortify our positions, and prepare for the final push. But Palpatine does not wait. Within days of the broadcast, he unleashes the full might of the Imperial military. Star destroyers deploy to worlds suspected of harboring rebel sympathizers. Bombardments begin from orbit, reducing entire cities to rubble. On Dantooine, an agricultural world that provided food to the rebellion, the Empire's assault is merciless. The Star Destroyers fire their turbo lasers without warning, obliterating farms, towns, and settlements. Millions die in the first hour. The survivors flee into the wilderness, but Imperial ground forces pursue them, hunting them down with relentless efficiency. On Onderon, where a rebel cell has been operating openly, the Empire deploys AT-ATs and stormtroopers to crush the resistance. The battle rages for 3 days, the streets of Iziz becoming a war zone. The rebels fight desperately, using guerrilla tactics, ambushes, and improvised explosives. But the Empire's firepower is overwhelming. By the end of the 3rd day, the rebel cell is destroyed, and the city is in ruins. The Empire broadcasts the aftermath across the holonet, showing the devastation, the bodies in the streets. This is what happens to those who defy the Empire. This is the price of rebellion. Palpatine's message is clear. The revelation about Vader will not save you. The Emperor's wrath is absolute. On Yavin 4, the rebellion watches the broadcasts with grim determination. They have struck a blow against the Empire, but Palpatine is retaliating with overwhelming force. Mon Mothma stands before a holographic display, showing the Empire's offensives. We are losing ground. The Empire is burning entire worlds to prove a point. We need to respond. But how? Bael's voice is heavy with frustration. We don't have the firepower to match them. If we engage them directly, we will be crushed. Then we don't engage them directly. Leia steps forward, her expression focused. We continue what we started. We expose the truth. We broadcast Kael's testimony to every world we can reach. We show them that the Empire's power is built on lies, and we inspire them to resist. Mon Mothma nods, and we prepare for a strike at the heart of the Empire. If we can eliminate Palpatine, the entire regime will collapse. But that is easier said than done. Bael shakes his head. Coruscant is the most heavily defended planet in the galaxy. Any assault would require a fleet we don't have. Then we don't assault it. Luke steps into the room, his training robe still damp with sweat. We infiltrate it, a small team. We get close to Palpatine, and we end this. The room falls silent. All eyes turn to Luke. Leia's expression is a mixture of pride and concern. That's incredibly dangerous. If you're caught, the Empire will execute you publicly. The rebellion could lose its greatest symbol. I'm not a symbol. Luke's voice is steady. I'm a person. And I'm tired of watching the Empire destroy lives. Palpatine killed my father. He's been using his name to spread terror for years. He's broken countless people and turned them into weapons. I'm going to end this. Obi-Wan steps forward, his expression serious. If you're going to face Palpatine, you'll need more than determination. You'll need training. The Emperor is one of the most powerful Sith Lords in history. He has mastered the dark side in ways that few can comprehend. Then teach me. Luke meets his gaze. Teach me everything I need to know. Obi-Wan nods slowly. Very well, but know that the training will be difficult. You will be pushed to your limits and beyond. I'm ready. Kael, who's been sitting quietly in the corner of the room, speaks up. His voice is still weak, but there is determination in it. I want to help. I want to fight alongside you. Luke turns to him, surprised. You've already done so much. You don't have to. I need to. Kael's voice is firm. I spent 3 years as the Emperor's weapon. I killed people. Good people. I destroyed lives. I need to make up for that. I need to prove to myself, if no one else, that I can be more than what he made me. Obi-Wan studies him for a long moment, sensing the conflict within him. The dark side has left deep scars, wounds that will take years to heal. But beneath the pain, he senses something else. Hope, determination, the will to be better. Very well. You will train with us. But know that the path will not be easy. Rebuilding your connection to the light will require great effort. I understand. Kael nods, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Over the following weeks, Luke and Kael train together under Obi-Wan's guidance. They rise before dawn, when the jungle is still shrouded in mist, and practice until long after dark. Obi-Wan pushes them relentlessly, drilling them in lightsaber forms, testing their connection to the Force, teaching them to remain calm under pressure. The training grounds are deep in the jungle, far from the main rebel base, where the sounds of their practice will not be overheard. They spar with training sabers, the blue and green blades flashing in the dappled sunlight. Luke attacks with aggressive strikes, his movements powerful and direct. Kael defends patiently, his style more measured, more cautious. Years inside the suit have made him hesitant, afraid to commit fully to his attacks. Obi-Wan watches them carefully, offering corrections. Luke, you're telegraphing your strikes. Your opponent will see them coming. Keep your movements smaller, more controlled. And Kale, you're holding back. You fear the dark side, but you must not let that fear paralyze you. The Force is not inherently good or evil. It is how you use it that matters. They adjust, refining their techniques, and continue. The days blur together, a rhythm of training, meditation, and rest. Obi-Wan teaches them to shield their minds from dark side intrusion, demonstrating how to create mental barriers that can withstand even the most powerful Sith techniques. Close your eyes. Feel the Force around you. Now, imagine a wall, strong and unyielding. Build it brick by brick, thought by thought. Let nothing penetrate it. Luke focuses, constructing the barrier in his mind. He feels Obi-Wan probing at it, testing its strength. At first, the barrier is weak, and Obi-Wan's presence slips through easily. But Luke reinforces it, adding layers, and eventually, Obi-Wan withdraws. Good, you're learning. But you must practice this constantly. In the heat of battle, maintaining that barrier will be the difference between life and death. Obi-Wan also teaches them to resist Sith lightning, a technique few Jedi ever master. He channels a small amount of Force energy, sending a weak jolt toward Luke. Luke raises his hand instinctively, and the energy dissipates harmlessly. The key is to absorb the energy and redirect it. Do not try to block it directly, or it will overwhelm you. Instead, let it flow through you and release it back into the Force. They practice this technique repeatedly, Obi-Wan gradually increasing the intensity until both Luke and Kale can withstand powerful bursts of energy. It is exhausting work, and they often collapse at the end of the day, their bodies aching, their minds drained. But they are growing stronger. One evening, after a particularly grueling session, Luke sits by a stream, cooling his hands in the water. Kale joins him, his movements slow and deliberate. Do you ever wonder if we can actually win? Kale's voice is quiet, uncertain. Palpatine has the entire Empire behind him. Armies, fleets, resources beyond imagining. And we're just us. Luke looks at him, his expression thoughtful. I used to wonder that. But then I realized something. The Empire's strength is an illusion. It's built on fear, on lies, on the suffering of billions. But fear can be overcome. Lies can be exposed. And suffering can turn into resolve. We don't need to be stronger than the Empire. We just need to be braver. Kale nods slowly, absorbing the words. You really believe that? I have to. Luke's voice is firm. Because if I don't, then what's the point? What's the point of fighting if we don't believe we can win? They sit in silence for a while, listening to the sounds of the jungle, the chirping of insects, the calls of distant birds. Then Kale speaks again. Thank you for believing in me, for giving me a chance to be more than what I was. You've always been more than that. Luke looks at him, his expression sincere. You just needed to remember it. While Luke and Kale train, Leia works tirelessly to coordinate the rebellion's intelligence network. She spends hours in the command center, reviewing reports, cross-referencing data, piecing together a picture of the Empire's operations. Her goal is to find a weakness, a moment when Palpatine is vulnerable. She contacts spies embedded in the Imperial capital, carefully coded messages that take days to reach their destinations. Some of the spies are former Imperial officers, disillusioned by the Empire's brutality. Others are civilians, ordinary people who have lost loved ones to the regime. They risk their lives to gather information, photographing documents, eavesdropping on conversations, tracking the movements of high-ranking officials. The responses trickle in slowly. Palpatine rarely leaves the Imperial Palace, preferring to rule from his throne room. When he does venture out, it is under heavy guard, surrounded by Red Guards and stormtroopers. His schedule is erratic, deliberately unpredictable to thwart assassination attempts. But Leia is patient. She studies the patterns, looking for anomalies, for moments when the Emperor's guard might be lowered. And finally, she finds one. A summit. A meeting of the Moffs, the regional governors who oversee the Empire's various sectors. It is scheduled to take place in 2 months, in the Imperial Palace. Palpatine will attend, as will dozens of high-ranking officials. It is a rare opportunity, a chance to strike at the heart of the Empire. But it is also incredibly risky. The palace will be swarming with security, and any failure will result in certain death. Leia presents the plan to the rebel command, her voice steady despite the weight of what she is proposing. We infiltrate the summit. A small team, no more than 6 people. We pose as Imperial officers, gain access to the palace, and locate Palpatine. Then we end this. Mon Mothma studies the plan carefully, her expression grave. This is a high-risk operation. If you're caught, the consequences will be catastrophic. Then we make sure we're not caught. Leia's voice is firm. We've come too far to stop now. Bail Organa shakes his head, concern etched on his face. Leia, you're talking about walking into the most heavily fortified location in the galaxy. Even if you make it inside, finding Palpatine will be nearly impossible. He'll be surrounded by guards, advisors, inquisitors. You'll be outnumbered 100 to 1. I know the risks. Leia meets his gaze. But this is our best chance. If we don't act now, the Empire will continue to grow stronger. They'll crush every world that supports us, and the rebellion will collapse. We have to take this chance. Mon Mothma nods slowly. Very well. But we'll need our best people. And we'll need a detailed plan, down to the smallest detail. Nothing can be left to chance. Leia turns to Luke, who has just entered the room. His training has transformed him. He stands taller, more confident, his presence radiating quiet strength. Are you ready? Luke nods. I'm ready. Then let's begin. The planning takes weeks. Leia and her intelligence team work around the clock, gathering information about the Imperial Palace's layout, security protocols, and guard rotations. They study hollow images, floor plans, and surveillance footage, memorizing every corridor, every checkpoint, every potential escape route. They acquire Imperial uniforms, forged credentials, and access codes. Every detail must be perfect. One mistake, one inconsistency, and they will be discovered. The team is carefully selected. Luke, Leia, Obi-Wan, and Kale form the core. They are joined by 2 rebel commandos, Captain Cassian Andor and Lieutenant Jyn Erso, both veterans of covert operations. Cassian is a skilled infiltrator, calm under pressure with years of experience in enemy territory. Jyn is a fighter, tough and resourceful, willing to do whatever it takes to complete the mission. They meet in a secure briefing room, the holographic display showing the Imperial Palace in 3 dimensions. Leia stands at the head of the table, her voice clear and focused. This is the palace. It has 30 levels above ground and 15 below. The summit will take place in the Grand Hall here. She points to a large chamber on the 15th level. Palpatine's throne room is adjacent, through this corridor. Security will be tight, but we'll be posing as officers from the Imperial Security Bureau, conducting a routine inspection. Our credentials will get us through the first few checkpoints, but after that, We'll need to improvise. Cassian leans forward, studying the display. What about the Red Guards? They never leave Palpatine's side. We'll need a distraction, something big enough to draw them away. Jin nods. I can rig an explosion in the lower levels. Make it look like a rebel attack. That should pull most of the guards away from the throne room. But it also means we'll be on a timer. Once the alarm goes off, we'll have minutes to reach Palpatine before reinforcements arrive. Then we move fast. Luke's voice is steady. We get in, confront Palpatine, and end this before the Empire can respond. Obi-Wan studies the hologram, his expression thoughtful. The Emperor will not be easily defeated. Even if we reach him, he is a master of the dark side. He will use every trick, every technique at his disposal. We must be prepared for anything. Kyle speaks up, his voice quiet but firm. I know how he fights. I felt his power when he conditioned me. He relies on fear, on overwhelming his opponents with raw strength. But he's also arrogant. He believes no one can challenge him. That arrogance is his weakness. Leia nods. Then we exploit it. We use his confidence against him. Obi-Wan, you and Luke will confront him directly. Kale, Cassian, Jin, and I will secure the exits and ensure we have a way out. The team spends the next 2 weeks rehearsing the plan, running through simulations, practicing their cover stories. They memorize the names of Imperial officers, the protocols for security inspections, the procedures for accessing restricted areas. Every detail is drilled into them until it becomes second nature. On the final night before their departure, the team gathers one last time. The mood is somber, each of them aware of the risks. There is a good chance they will not return. But none of them hesitate. They have all lost too much to the Empire, and they are willing to sacrifice everything to see it fall. Obi-Wan addresses them, his voice calm and reassuring. We stand on the precipice of history. What we do in the coming days will determine the fate of the galaxy. But remember, we do not fight alone. The Force is with us, and the hopes of billions rest on our shoulders. Do not falter, do not despair, and above all, do not give in to fear. Luke looks around at his companions, seeing the determination in their eyes. These are people who have suffered, who have lost loved ones, who have been broken by the Empire. But they have not given up. They continue to fight, to hope, to believe in a better future. And that, he realizes, is the true strength of the rebellion. Not their ships or their weapons, but their refusal to surrender. He thinks of his father, of Anakin Skywalker, the man who was consumed by fear and hatred. He thinks of Kale, the young Padawan who was broken and remade into a weapon. He thinks of all the others, the countless lives destroyed by the Empire's cruelty. And he makes a silent vow. I will end this. I will honor their memory, and I will make sure no one else suffers as they did. The transport departs Yavin 4 under cover of darkness, its transponder codes altered to mimic an Imperial supply ship. The journey to Coruscant takes 3 days, and during that time, the team remains on high alert, monitoring Imperial comm channels, watching for patrols. Cassian pilots the ship, his hands steady on the controls, while Jin keeps watch on the sensors. Luke and Kale meditate in the cargo hold, centering themselves, preparing for what lies ahead. Obi-Wan sits with Leia in the cockpit, discussing contingencies, backup plans, escape routes. Every possibility must be considered. As they approach Coruscant, the sight of the city planet fills them with a mixture of awe and dread. The planet is a sprawling metropolis, its surface covered entirely by towering skyscrapers, traffic lanes, and industrial complexes. At the center of it all, the Imperial Palace looms. a massive structure that dwarfs everything around it. It is a monument to Palpatine's power, a symbol of the Empire's dominance. Cassian transmits their credentials to Imperial traffic control, and after a tense moment, they are cleared to land. The transport descends through the traffic lanes, weaving between cargo haulers and patrol ships, until it reaches a docking bay in the lower levels of the Palace District. They land without incident, and the ramp lowers. The team disembarks, dressed in Imperial uniforms, their movements confident and assured. They are officers of the Imperial Security Bureau, conducting a routine inspection. No one questions them. They make their way through the Palace District, passing checkpoints, presenting their credentials, moving deeper into the heart of the Empire. The palace itself is a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each one more opulent than the last. Marble floors, gilded walls, holographic displays showing the Emperor's speeches. It is a place designed to inspire awe and fear, to remind everyone who enters that they are in the presence of absolute power. They reach the Grand Hall without incident. The summit is already underway. Dozens of Moffs and Imperial officers gathered in the vast chamber, discussing strategy, debating policy. The team splits up, Leia, Cassian, and Jyn moving to secure the exits, while Luke, Obi-Wan, and Kale make their way toward the throne room. The corridor leading to Palpatine's inner sanctum is guarded by red guards, their crimson armor gleaming in the dim light. Luke can feel the dark side emanating from the throne room, a palpable presence that presses down on him like a weight. Obi-Wan places a hand on his shoulder. Remember your training. Do not let fear control you. Trust in the Force. Luke nods and they advance. The red guards step forward, their Force pikes raised. Halt. State your business. Luke reaches out with the Force, his voice calm and commanding. We are here to see the Emperor. The guards hesitate, their minds clouded by the Force suggestion. Then, slowly, they step aside. The doors to the throne room open, and Luke, Obi-Wan, and Kale step inside. The chamber is vast, the ceiling lost in shadow. At the far end, seated on a throne of blackstone, is Emperor Palpatine. His yellow eyes gleam with malevolence, and a cold smile crosses his face. Ah, Luke Skywalker, I have been expecting you, and you brought friends. How thoughtful. Luke ignites his lightsaber, the blue blade casting light across the dark chamber. This ends now, Palpatine. Your reign of terror is over. Palpatine laughs, a sound like grinding metal. You think you can defeat me? You are a child playing at being a hero. I have crushed far greater threats than you. Obi-Wan steps forward, his own lightsaber igniting. You underestimate us, as you underestimated the Jedi. That arrogance will be your downfall. Palpatine rises from his throne, his robes billowing around him. The air crackles with dark side energy, and the shadows seem to deepen, as if the very room is responding to his power. Then come. Show me what you have learned. Let us see if you are worthy of your father's legacy. Luke charges forward, his lightsaber raised, and the final battle begins. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.